Hey guys, yo, what's up? My name's Seb. I'm doing a review on the movie 28 Years Later, which is the sequel of 28 Days and 28 Weeks Later. So this is the third movie in the order, and you know what? I'm excited to check this thing out. So, but yeah, basically, let's get on with the video. Alright, so what is this movie all about? Basically, it's an infected UK. The reason it's all infected is because of a rage virus that you find out in 28 days later. These people are particularly on an island that's separated from the mainland. That's why they're safe. That's why they're okay, because that particular area isn't infected. But in the mainland, it is. They may have to go over there for supplies. Maybe they're there for hunting. Maybe they're there for reasons like maybe they need some material. Not too sure, but whenever they need stuff like that, then sometimes they may have to cross over to the mainland. And because of that, the people on the island need training to make sure that they know how to get to the mainland. This is Spike's first day, the main character of this story. It's going to be his first day going to the mainland. So, as it's his first day, he goes out with his dad. And him and his dad, you know, his dad tries to train him up and everything. And that's kind of the premise of where this movie takes off. I'm not going to go too far into the story after this, but I do want to talk about some other things that are important. On the side note of this, Spike's also got a few other members in his family. I think he's got his granddad, who kind of just supports him in everything. His dad, which at the beginning is a nice relationship. I think somewhere just a bit after the beginning, there's some tension in that relationship. I'm not going to explain why, but there is. And then he has a really close relationship with his mother because he loves his mum, but there's something wrong with his mum and he doesn't know what. The whole premise of this movie is the fact that because there's something wrong with his mum, he wants to take his mum to see a doctor, but there hasn't been a doctor in absolutely ages. However, when they are out on a hunt, he does see a bit of smoke, and he gets told by his granddad that is possibly a doctor. His dad doesn't want him to go, but he takes his mama anyway, and that's where this movie really starts kicking off. So I'm not going to explain over that because anything else after that is like major spoilers, and that's all that part, that's Act 1. So I'm not really going to go into Act 2 or Act 3. You know, one thing I love about this movie doesn't hold back when it comes to getting you into the action. It kind of gives you a bit of character development when you meet Spike, his mum, his dad, his granddad, and all that kind of stuff, and all of his friends. But it's not scared to rush with all the explaining and just let you fill in all the blanks. And because it allows you to do that, it just puts you straight into the action. There are zombie creatures inside this movie that you haven't seen in the previous two, and it doesn't explain anything about them. It just lets you fill in all the gaps with all the information is provided, to how you perceive of what the director is trying to push. And honestly, he does a great job because I generally really liked just not knowing absolutely everything. I don't think you're supposed to. I think in a zombie apocalypse, it's really good to just go like, oh, I don't even know what that is, and also because of that, because he's with his dad, and his dad kind of does a bit of an explanation about what the zombies are to Spike. You see this movie through Spike, so when Spike gets told about something from his dad at the beginning of the movie, it's like he's also explaining to the audience, so you get that bit of information. The reason Spike might be so good with a bow and arrow midway through the movie is because Spike was being trained with it at the beginning of the movie. That's the tools that he gets used to, so that's the tools that he uses. And I just absolutely love this. The whole movie is like it's perfect. There's just so much perfection. The acting is on top level standards. They do a really good way of putting you into this world. Another thing that I absolutely love is that this movie was, from what I'm aware of, was recorded on iPhones. I know that there's a thing with like the types of lenses that they used, but there was a lot of iPhones within this movie doing the actual stuff. And obviously you take a lot of that footage, you put it into After Effects or whatever program that they're using to edit with, and you know, and obviously they spice it up and put loads of extra stuff on top of it. But it doesn't take the way that this movie was like a really awesome creative production. The casting was good. The whole movie was just perfection. This could be my favorite movie of the year. And on top of everything else, I absolutely love it. I think it's great. I think this could generally be my favorite movie of the year. You know, the only thing I'll mention is when you get to the end of the film, there's a little bit of the ending that's a little bit off-putting, and I don't want to go too far into it, but you know, you get the idea. Yeah, you'll get to the end, you go, and I don't know whether to give it a point or what to give it a score, so I'm just not going to give it a point and just leave it there. So I'll rate this as a 9 out of 10, and maybe I'll deserve to rank this up later on after I've seen what the next installment brings, but at the moment, I think the movie's crisp, I think it's brilliant, I think it's well made. If you leave the bit at the end, I think it's completely perfect. So yeah, there you go. 9 out of 10. Tell me what you think about this movie in the comments down below, and I will see you guys on another Jump Inside video very soon. Thanks for watching, and goodbye. Hey, thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy the video, then please don't forget to consider to like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on another Jump Inside video. Goodbye.